Hello, my name is Andrew, and today we're doing a review of the magical Nova. Let's check them out. Up front, you've got a medium wide toe box. They've got this kind of like strip down the middle, which is sort of like a subtle nod to classic soccer shoes. And the whole upper is made from soft suede, so there's nothing pressing down anywhere. It's really flexible. It feels great to wear barefoot as well. It's got a leather lining all the way around, so the footbed is leather, and then the sides are leather around the heel and up front as well. And then around the heel, you've got some nice padding, so it helps lock your foot in towards the back. It has a little bit of sculpt in here, and then padding up around the top, padding around the side. And this is also nice because a lot of times you can get rubbing on ankles with leather shoes, especially if they're a bit harder. And you can see if these, they're not. It's a very soft shoe. But then because it's also rounded, you just don't get any rubbing on your skin. Plus they just smell really nice. It's a very natural leather smell, no extra additives or chemicals. And the sole is stitched all the way around, which is always great for durability. Plus it's 6.5 millimeters overall, and it's got the zigzag tread, so there's a good amount of flexibility, but the tread is very protective. It's good for going on gravel and even medium-sized rocks. Plus with the zigzag tread, and especially when you bend it, it becomes almost like a hiking shoe. Also, you can hear the rubber is quite dense, so no problem at all getting 5,000 miles out of these or even more. But when I was going out for longer walks on, pavement and concrete where it's just flat and you don't need that much protection, it does feel like overkill at 6.5 millimeters. It feels more like a trail shoe than a casual shoe. So if you're only on city train and you're not going on gravel or rocks, anything like that, then I'd probably recommend a thinner sole. Although if you're doing a bit of both, you want one shoe that can cover everything from hiking to city use, then this is a really good option. And despite being thicker, it still has a really good amount of flexibility for some smooth roll down. Not to mention the suede upper is also nice for all season, all weather, because it's thick enough where when it's cold, it gives you a little bit of insulation, especially if you add a layer or two of socks in there. But then it's also thin enough to breathe on warmer days. Although if you get up to like 80, 90 degrees, it can start getting sweaty like any other closed toe shoe. In terms of alternatives, this is the Magical Shoes Echo. It's a very similar option, just has a slightly different upper design. It's still suede, but it's more of like a business casual kind of vibe. And it's also got a zip, which is really convenient. I've never seen a low-cut barefoot shoe do this before, but it's kind of nice not having to do the laces over and over again, which is ideal for errands because you can just throw them on and off very quickly. But yeah, also has a leather lining and the same 6.5 millimeter sole. If you want something a little bit wider, this is the Vivobarefoot Gobi sneaker. Has a true wide toe box, and it's lined with suede, but then most of the leather is just a regular sheen. It's got a stitched sole for durability as well, and the whole thing is also lined with natural leather, so it feels really nice to wear barefoot, as well as having that kind of classic soccer sneaker vibe. Although one thing that's a little bit different is that the rubber sole comes up a bit higher, and this can help with water resistance. Like if you're going through puddles, basically everything below here is going to be completely waterproof. And then this type of sheen leather does shed water a little bit better than just pure suede, which can get a little moist on the surface even if the whole thing is water resistant. In terms of the sole, it's 4 millimeters, so definitely thinner, a little bit more flexible, and I find it more comfortable for doing longer city mileage because you get some better ground feel. It just kind of feels more natural overall. Although with a sole this thin, it can get chewed up more easily by gravel and other sharp rocks. Finally, if you want an extra wide option, this is the Realfoot City Jungle. It has a true extra wide toe box, so if you're someone who has a ton of foot splay, this is the best option. Or if you're wearing toe spacers and you need a lot of room in there. Also has a suede upper. This is probably the thinnest of the three. Stitched sole as well, and for the sides, it's more similar to Magical Shoes. It kind of comes up a little bit, so there's a little bit of water resistance for puddles here, but not as high as Vivobarefoot. Although one thing I don't like about it is that it's lined with synthetic instead of natural leather like the other two. And even though it is perforated for breathability, natural materials are always going to be more antimicrobial, so you can get some odor buildup on hot days. And generally the temperature regulation is just not as good with synthetic. In terms of the sole, it's 4 millimeters like Vivo, but I would say even a little bit more flexible because there's not as much of side support here. So the ground feel and flexibility is really amazing. Plus it's extra wide, so you get a ton of surface area here. It grips very well on wet terrain. And even though the tread's thin, it's actually made to military grade standards. So I found that it can handle some gravel and light rocks. All right, so that's my review of the Magical Shoes Nova and Friends. But if you'd like to support the channel, you can shop with the referral links down below. Browse and filter more products with the shoe finder tool at my website, barefootwear.org, or watch my zero drop transition video to learn more about barefooting. Finally, if you have a question about the Magical Shoes Nova or about barefoot shoes in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.